What's going on? How you doing? It's the infamous Jig John.
Biggie dreams got me juicy.
Pardon?
My train of thoughts gotta be steaming. I'm still KwakuDreaming.
Hey guys, this is Jig John and welcome to KwakuDreaming. Yeah, that's right, it's Kwaku, it's not Kwaku. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to KwakuDreaming, your favorite ideas podcast, where we explore our favorite subjects from the NBA, business and marketing, comedy, music, movies, and more. What more could you ask for? What's up, Golden Stars? Good morning, champions.
Yeah. Good morning, champion. You need to get to work.
In the words of my boy Ryan Alfonso, what's going on, people?
What's good, people?
Because you're listening to this, you're clearly a thinker, so you're a champion, you're a winner. Let's get it this morning. It's KwakuDreaming. How you doing, man? So basically, if you listen to the last episode, you'll know that we spoke about gifts and talents. This is part 2 of gifts and talents. And there's a conversation that came up between myself and George Francis, who was featured in the last episode. And we were talking about what drives us and that whole, I'll probably do another episode about this, but that whole culture of you've got to want this more than you want to sleep, you know, and that hard working culture. And on top of that, we had a disagreement, but then we came to a conclusion. But we had a disagreement when it came to that whole competitiveness, right? So I completely understand. When I play basketball with George, he understands that I'm very competitive. Sometimes we talk trash to each other. We're both very competitive. But when it comes to business, I understand that it can be competitive, especially if you're in the same arena. I guess where I'm coming from in this podcast is you can have a business that is a unique business, and by unique I mean the main part of that word is you know, and that's something that you're doing. So when Bill Gates came up with Microsoft, I don't know if he had direct competition. I understand IBM were around, but I don't know if he had direct competition on the scale that he was doing things. And I've also learned that Apple, when they took themselves out of the equation of trying to be the greatest computer company, as Microsoft were already that, when they decided to focus on their lifestyle branding gadgets, they actually had their own arena, right? And when you've got your own arena, you're doing what you really want to do and you're unique. Is there any need for competition? That's my question today. You may disagree, you may be on George's side, you may be on my side. We'll get to, I'll play it and you'll get to hear it and decide what you think, and it'll be great to know what you think at the end of this in the comments or email me again. It's KwakuDreaming@mail.com, KwakuDreaming@mail.com, and you can decide what you think. But my mentality is, if you were being unique, if you were doing what you're supposed to do, if you're coming up with your own ideas based on what you want to do, is there really any competition out there for you? And if that's the case, does competition need to drive you? It's probably explained way better in the segment with us two. So I'll let you guys listen to that, see what you think. So simple.
Have you watched the video where he's speaking about like how much sleep you get?
Yeah. Oh no, I haven't. Maybe I have.
He's talking about like billionaires don't sleep.
Yeah,
like that's what he's saying. He was like, if you're going to bed and you're sleeping 8-9 hours, you ain't gonna make it.
Yeah,
you ain't gonna make it out here. He was like, do you not think that someone else is like working 19 hours a day? Yeah. For it's the whole 1% thing. Yeah. Like the reason why there is a 1% is because only 1% of people want to do that. Okay. And only 1% of people want to work that hard. Yeah. But yeah, carry on.
No, I want to ask you a question with that. You say carry on. What was I talking about?
Steve Harvey. You're just bringing up Steve Harvey.
Yes, no, I was just saying that. And the thing is, I'd actually give it more to Steve Harvey than Gary Vaynerchuk, because Gary Vaynerchuk to me is bigger than motivational speaking. He gives you strategies and stuff like that. And Steve Harvey does too. But anyway, what I was going to say, yeah, so here's my thing, right? I'm still in this mind about, and I'm still in two minds about this whole, billionaires don't sleep and all this. And not even about that. It's more, I mean, maybe about that. But one of the major things is when people say, there's somebody else working harder, right? Now that is 100% true in competition, especially sports, right? And in business when you have competitors. But do you think it's necessary in every situation? Here's my thing. When I was talking about gifts, and the reason why it was important to even locate that my gift is, let's say, communication, is because I could sit here and try to be the greatest singer of all time. It's impossible, right? There's no one's the greatest singer of all time. Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson. But
subjective.
Yeah.
Subjective topic.
Right. And you can beat yourself up trying to be the best at something. But if you locate your gift, and if I know that I'm good at communicating, I push that to the forefront of every single avenue I use. For me, I'm playing number one to my strengths, and I'm almost selling me instead of my skills.
Yeah.
And when you're selling yourself instead of your skills, I feel like, let's be honest, God made you, you're unique. No one else can be you. I always say this, and I mean this 100%, George. You've never seen me on stage as a performer. And I said this at my end of my podcast, but I had to be honest. You could put me on stage with flipping Michael Jackson and Prince, yeah? You'd be like, Michael Jackson's unbelievable, Prince is unbelievable, but Jake John's doing his thing. I may not be as good as Michael, but I am me. And I'm telling you, like, I hold my own, and I'm me.
I don't know that from
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my point is, like, I could look at all the entrepreneurs in the world. There's only one George Francis. And my thing is, as much as you have competitors, when you are yourself to the highest level or maximize what God has made you, your uniqueness, and you push that, as much as people could try and rival you, you have no competitor because there's no other George. And if you were selling you more than you're selling your gift and even your product, you were irreplaceable. Gary Vaynerchuk is irreplaceable. I don't care who else comes up and is a great motivational speaker. Why would I now be like, oh, I don't need you because of Gary Vaynerchuk? Because I buy into Gary Vaynerchuk. There's probably other people that know as much as him.
Yeah.
But they don't sell it to me the way that he does because they're not Gary Vaynerchuk.
I agree with you to a certain extent, but I feel like why is Gary Vaynerchuk Gary Vaynerchuk?
Why?
Yeah.
I feel like behind his extreme hard work and behind his genius...
You just said it. His hard work.
Yeah, but dude, but
bro,
he can't be the hardest working person in the world.
No, but he's the hardest working person in that field.
Do you think so?
Yeah, in media, there's no harder working person than Gary Vaynerchuk. Or even if there's 10, 20 people who work as hard as him,
but not harder,
not smarter.
Not smarter. Okay.
So you said it. You said he's genius and he works hard.
Yeah.
Bro, I think those are two things that go hand in hand. Like literally.
Okay, fine.
Mutually exclusive.
All right. So here's my not challenge to it because I do agree with you. My thing is that my thing is that I get that, and even if he said you may not work, I might not work harder than anyone else, but there's no one who works harder than me. I'd 100% agree with him there. Like, do you know what I mean? I agree that he probably works to the highest level that he can do.
Yeah.
My thing is, I guess you've got two sides to his business. You've got the business that he actually built in wine, then you've got the business that he's actually doing and his knowledge and understanding. But don't you think that his marketing is he's selling his uniqueness, which is putting him in an area that no one else. I can't replace George. I can't.
No, you're right, but you can replace me with someone. Let's just say there was someone who wanted to make a delivery app. Who worked harder than me, I think that person would replace me.
However,
in a heartbeat.
Yes, fine, and that is true. But
and I think that's what drives me. That's what drives people like me, or people like Gary, or people like you.
Okay, that's good.
To make the best song.
See, that doesn't drive me. It drives people like you, and that's great. I love that.
Okay.
That probably almost scares me. But my thing is, what drives me is the fact that I guess I would say that I feel like I'm irreplaceable. Because what I'm saying is that here's another way of putting it. Maybe this will help understand, and maybe.
Well, we're all irreplaceable. I feel like.
But that's my point. Exactly. Everyone's irreplaceable,
yeah.
And that's why it's so important to locate your gift. Because once you do, you can't be replaced.
Yes.
But people don't know you're irreplaceable because you're not bringing out anything into the world.
It's true.
So my thing is, it's a choice of what to sell. You see, with I'll make this as short as I can. But this is another thing. There was two managers in music, two big managers, and they were talking about how they struggled to sign John Mayer, Yeah. And do you know John Mayer?
Yeah.
Yeah. And for those who don't know, John Mayer is an amazing guitarist, amazing songwriter, and all that stuff. And he was selling out shows for like, I think 1,000 people, maybe 500 to 1,000 people, and they were loving him. Even more apparently, they were loving him. He's selling these CDs independently. They were loving him. Sold out shows, right? And then they tried to sell him. They sat down with like Sony or someone like that, and they were just like,
big
"Oh
label.
yeah, we're trying to sell it." Yeah, big label, and they weren't interested. And it took them months and months and months for them to even get them down to his show, right? And then they said, but when they tried to sell, I want to say Kesha, I'm not sure if it was her, but a really pop artist they're very pop artists who's not like their credentials aren't there, an amazing artist, right? They're selling sex or they're selling the pop, exactly.
They're selling clicks.
They're selling clicks, right?
Yeah.
They signed them straight away, right? Sony wanted to sign them straight away, yeah?
Yeah.
Or whatever the label was.
It's like Big Shaq.
Exactly, right, exactly.
Like everyone wants to
They
sign
wanted
Big
it straight
Shaq,
away,
yeah.
exactly. So his thing was, he has found in the industry that it's harder to sell a great artist, a talented artist, than it is to sell somebody who is pop, right? Now, they didn't understand. I spoke to my boy, and you'd probably come up with a similar answer being businessmen. And my boy said to me, no, so when they brought the record label down to finally come down see the show, they literally had to like drag him there. The show, I think it was the biggest one John Mayer had. I think it was maybe 2,000, 3,000 people were loving it, buying these CDs. Afterwards, it was one of his best shows. Afterwards, he said to record label exec, he said, "What do you think?" The record label exec said, "Don't get it." He's like, "What?" He's like, "I don't get it." He's like, "What is there not to get? Like, he's doing it. We just need to do it bigger." Do you know what I mean? Support him and let's do it bigger. And he's just like, "No, I don't get it." Now, I said to my boy, like, what was that? And the guy saying it didn't understand it either. The managers didn't understand
So
it.
I don't get why there's only 500 people here, I bet.
No, it wasn't even that. Here's the thing. My boy said this. He said, it's business. He said, what he means is when he says, I don't get it, he's like, I can't manage this. You're selling talent.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So when you look at someone like Justin Bieber, I saw him on YouTube. He was singing, he's playing keys, he's doing all this stuff. And he was playing guitar. And everyone's like, this little kid's amazing.
Yeah.
But when he got sold as an artist, they weren't selling his musicality. They were selling this little pretty boy, cute boy, silly haircut.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And putting this.
Do you know how many kids had that hairstyle afterwards?
Dude,
the whole of the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So my thing is that. So he was saying that. So my boy was saying that they would rather sign like 10 little Justin Biebers and sell a look, so that if Justin Bieber, God forbid, dies, they can just find another blonde boy.
Exactly.
And they're not selling talent. They can't control it.
So like your friend's answer about like I don't get it.
Yeah.
Is because like the investor probably was in there thinking, the label was in there thinking, okay, there's 500 people here. If I sell each ticket for a tenner, that's $5,000. What am I going to do with $5,000?
Exactly. Right.
I don't get it.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
even if John Mayer was to make $1 million, their fear from a business point of view, and you'll understand this, is if God forbid something happens. Yes, if God forbid if something happens to John Mayer, that business is done.
Yeah.
Whilst they can manufacture boy bands all day, all
Every
night.
day.
So my thing is, what my point was from this point of view was, it's a choice of what to sell. If you were selling your app, right? If Gary Vaynerchuk was selling his services only, he wouldn't be as big as he is.
No.
Gary Vaynerchuk is selling Gary Vaynerchuk. When you sit down with Gary Vaynerchuk, let's not get twisted. This guy has value and value.
He's got clout.
Yeah, clout.
Yeah.
But what he's actually saying makes sense. It's not like a pop. He's not a pop media guy. He knows what he's talking about.
I guarantee if you were in a room with Gary Vaynerchuk for an hour and he was just giving you advice, and you walked out of that room and didn't become a millionaire, you're an idiot.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you're lazy.
Exactly. Yeah, or lazy. Yeah, exactly. So that's my point. So my point is, so not only does he have all that knowledge, I buy into Gary Vaynerchuk. These companies buy into Gary Vaynerchuk because what I'm trying to say to you is there will be other people on the planet who maybe have other strategies or know as much as Gary Vaynerchuk, even if there's only 3 people on the planet.
But they won't.
But if they don't,
like him.
Exactly, they don't have the likability. They won't be able to sell themselves like that. And when
do you know what kind of companies advertise with Gary?
Is it like Apple and stuff like that?
Apple,
biggest company,
Google, all
Fortune 500 companies.
Most Fortune 500 companies advertise with VaynerMedia.
Yes. And
same with all your favorite artists. They all advertise with VaynerMedia.
Wow.
And do you know why it is?
Why?
It's because when It is, yeah, because he's a genius. But do you know what his big thing is?
What?
Social media.
Social media. Oh yeah.
Do you know what he does?
What?
You know, he'll go on like Cardi B's page, yeah?
Yeah.
He won't listen to a single Cardi B song. Do you know what he'll do?
What?
He'll go through her comments. He'll want to know what her fans are thinking. So he wants to know how to get those fans to listen to a song.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So he won't ever. He said in an interview, I haven't heard a Cardi B song until now.
Really?
But I know her fans better than she does.
Jeez.
And it's true.
Jeez. So I love that. But
See,
what I'm
like
saying,
a passion he has.
yes.
It's like that's his drive.
But what I'm saying is he's selling Gary Vee. I understand that he is a genius, but how many people walk into an interview and know more than somebody else, but they don't get a job because no one wants to work with them? Do you know what I mean? What I'm saying is that hard work and all of that stuff is 90% of it. Let's say that, but the other 10%
is who you are.
It's who you are, and you need that full 100.
Yeah.
And if you push that who you are, I feel like it puts you in a place where you're irreplaceable. Because what I'm saying is that if somebody comes up with as much knowledge as Gary Vaynerchuk, you better be Gary Vaynerchuk, because that's who I love.
There's also a very big difference between success and being rich.
Yeah.
So like success is like creating something with longevity, or creating something that you can be proud of.
Yeah.
And something to an extent that has monetary value.
Of course.
But being rich is you can attain with pure cut hard work. So if you want to be rich, you put that 90% in.
I like that.
If you want to be successful, that's your 100. That's where your 10% needs to come into play.
Okay, I like that.
I'm still KwakuDreaming.
Okay, so that was George Francis. Check out Runner UK. That's runneruk.com. And download the app and get a 15% discount on your first purchase with the code FIRST15.
You need to get to work, 'cause I ain't going to school.
Okay, I really like that. I like what Jules says there and how he got there, and how he appeased the issue. But I think he's right. There is a difference between being rich and being successful, and you could earn 30 grand a year. Be successful if you're being unique and you enjoy, most importantly, you enjoy your work every morning. I remember Dave Chappelle. The reason why Dave Chappelle, the stand-up comic, probably the greatest stand-up comic of all time, the reason he was able to walk away for that 50 million, if you don't know, look it up. He walked away for $50 million to carry on his show. The reason he was able to walk away was a conversation he had with his father. He recalls a conversation before his father died. His father was a school teacher, and his father made roughly around 30 grand a year. And his father, when he broke down to his father that he wanted to be a stand-up comic, his dad was like, yo, it's tough. Like, it's a tough industry. And Dave Chappelle's rebuttal to it was great and very mature, and really explains why he's where he is now. It depends what you mean by hard, and it depends what you define success as. Something along those lines, he said. And he said, you earn about 30 grand a year being a teacher. And he said, if I make 30 grand a year being a stand-up comic, I think I'm more successful than you. And for me, that was like mind-blowingly mature for a young guy, and so accurate. I wish I had that type of maturity when I was younger, when I thought about music. And being an entertainer and acting. If I had that maturity to know that being financially free, doing what I love, is greater than, making 30 grand doing what I love is greater than making $1 million doing what I hate. A lot of you will be like, some of you might be like, no, I'd rather have the $1 million. Cool, cool. I think if you love every day when you wake up, if you love what you do, it's not work. And I've experienced that. There was a point where I didn't know, when you hear like Beyonce and all these singers are like, I've been working so hard in the studio. And I'm thinking, what do you mean working hard in the studio? It's a studio. Like, I didn't used to get it. And whilst I was at Northbrook studying music tech with my sister BisaNation, when there was a break time, we'd be in the studio doing our own projects, recording all the time. And the main technician there said, I've never met anyone who works harder than you two. He said, I've never seen anyone work as hard as you two. He said, you're the hardest working people we've ever met. Now for me, I was like, cool. I took it because it's a compliment. However, I was like, what do you mean working hard? I'm doing music. I didn't understand that was classified as working hard when you do what you love. So if you are in a game where you have to work hard and one person is doing what they love and one person is doing what they hate, the guy who's doing what they love or the girl who's doing what they love is gonna crush this game. It's gonna absolutely kill it because you love it. And it doesn't seem. I remember being in acting classes. I remember in Vardine College, I would literally, when we had a play, we'd start at 8 o'clock just like everybody else, but we would leave about 9, 10 o'clock at night, and we would have 12 to maybe 14-hour days, and I didn't need a break. And that is proof that that's what I'm supposed to be doing, because I did not need a break. After like an hour, people would be like, oh, can we have a break? I'm like, break from what? Like, we're playing here. Yeah, man, you gotta do what you love, or you can do what you love. No, I think you gotta do what you love. I understand, you got family and you need to do certain things, cool. But whatever you need to do to get to a place where you're doing what you love, cool, do that. That's my 2 cents. Also, when we're talking about being unique, here's further to my point about it. When you take someone, if you take singers like Macy Gray, you take a singer like Louis Armstrong, these 2 artists do not have the greatest voices. They're not vocalists. They're not great vocalists in my opinion. If I had the choice of listening to Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson, Mariah Carey in her prime, or these 2, I think most people, as far as just vocal tone, wouldn't listen to Macy Gray or Louis Armstrong, one of the greatest jazz musicians of all time. But whoever told Macy Gray she wasn't going to be successful, and plenty of people did, was a fool for uttering those words, for even saying you're not going to be successful. Because when you're doing what you do, no one else can do it. Like, if you got Stevie Wonder to sing Louis Armstrong, What a Wonderful World, it would be an amazing rendition, but it's not What a Wonderful World. Louis Armstrong's version is A Wonderful World. You can't replace it. It's not about how good you are. It's Louis' song, and Louis was the one that was supposed to sing it. It's sung in a way that is bigger than vocal technique and all of this stuff. Just in the same way, it's tough to cover any Stevie, Michael Jackson song. It's tough to cover, look, the Beatles, Paul McCartney, John Lennon, they're not the greatest vocalists at all, but their songs are their songs. So you can stick a great gospel vocalist on there, and don't get me wrong, some of those, it'd be amazing. When a great singer sings a song, it's amazing, but it doesn't make the original replaceable just because the other person isn't as technically good as them. So it's the same thing, in my opinion, when it comes to what you do. When you do what you're supposed to do, it doesn't matter who's better at it than you. It's yours. It's yours. There is no point of me sitting here trying to get my vocals as good as Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder. It's pointless. God made me Jake. Why not be the best Jake I can be? Then I'm irreplaceable. You're not going to say, oh, we've got Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson. Oh, we don't need Marvin Gaye. No, that's not the case. There's only one Marvin Gaye. There's only one you.
Aw, babe, it's so sweet.
Check out my blog, KwakuDreaming blog, and any more episodes at KwakuDreaming.com. Check out jakejohn.com for any details. Make sure to check me out on Jake John Music on all platforms, all social medias, and check out Jake John Music on any music site. Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, Deezer. I'm on SoundCloud. I've put my music up for free on SoundCloud as well. Check out the stuff, share it. I'm gonna play some of that stuff on the podcast and just enjoy it. Also, if you want any jingles made, any sound bites, any soundscapes, just let me know. If you want to discuss any ideas or issues we just spoke about, I'd love to hear your story. Just let me know, and I'll advise and share any way that I can. If you'd like me to speak at an event, just let me know. You can contact me on KwakuDreaming@mail.com. That's KwakuDreaming@mail.com. Respect, all love, enjoy yourself. And don't forget to subscribe to this podcast.
I'm still KwakuDreaming. Have you ever felt like a Mitch, afraid of the night? And everything you're saying turns around to be a vice. You listen to the hype of vicarious life when everyone accepts you as taking your advice. Afraid